who was criticizing the rise of AI art, and someone fed this artist's art to an AI without the artist's consent out of spite and created AI art out of it. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That's basically what everyone did with NFTs.
Yeah.
Or just make anything into a token.
Everything. Pretty much, yeah.
So, alright, let's see. Here is a link to Ninja Dance Mat stuff. I'll put it up on the big screen here.
Give me 1 sec here.
I feel like we've seen this before. Did we not see this?
No.
Oh, no, okay.
Maybe?
No, I remember this character. I remember this picture.
Yeah, we've seen this before.
We've seen this before. Yeah.
Did you have a specific piece you wanted us to look at, or is this just an overarching sort of thing? Because I'm usually better at, like, if you want, like, specific... Because when someone asks for a critique, they're usually asking for, advice or where to go.
Specific feedback.
Specific things that they want to know about, because... like you talk about, like, getting reference and things like that. Is reference cheating and all that stuff, Yeah,
I feel like you would have needed a reference for the scuba gear.
Yeah, because, like, you need to know what that looks like or how it actually functions, things like that.
Yeah, how it sits on a person, too.
Yeah.
You need a lot of photos to figure that out. Or a lot of experience IRL.
Yeah, that too. Because I guess, like, if you're doing, like, underwater scenes, you'd get a lot of underwater photos and people doing that kind of stuff. So I don't know if it's that one particular piece that we're trying to talk about. Because when you do, like, portfolio reviews and things like that, you kind of look for the overarching, like, kind of theme of what they're going for, what they're doing. The next question I would ask you then, too, is what are your current goals as a
creator, an artist?
No, I'm not gonna use. I wouldn't say creator.
It sounded like you meant to say.
No, as an artist or as a someone who is trying. What is it that you're trying to make? Because, like, art is a lot of different things. Are you trying to make, like, comics? Are you trying to make just illustrations?
They're just saying, I guess it's like if anything stands out to you as obviously amateur.
Let's see here. So, with that kind of ask, though, like, I can't really. When you tell me that you want to know if anything stands out as amateur, so the term amateur is someone who's not paid to do work. The better way to phrase that question is, where are my weaknesses? Where do you see that I'm struggling? And usually when someone asks that question, they'll go and say, like, okay, I know I got a pretty good handle on animals. I like drawing animals. I like drawing this. I feel that the compositions that I do are a little weak, though. Could you help me figure out a good way to do compositions? Basically, what I'm trying to say is that, like, in order for me to give you a good critique, or in order for anybody to do a good critique, is you got to know what you're wanting out of this critique as well. Like, because I can't just go in and say, there's some things that do stand out to me. Like, I can see that, like, a lot of the lines are same. Like, the term for that is deadlines, where there's not, like, any variance in the line art. There's a lot of, like, it's just the same all around. Like, I'm looking at this portrait of the character at the phone booth, and, you can see that the lines are all the same, but there's no weight for where, like, where a heavy shadow would be. That would be something I could think you could probably take a look into, is just, your line work. But overall, it's kind of, when someone wants a critique, I want them to come to me and tell me what they want, and what they're trying to do. Because if you're trying to become a cartoonist or do a comic, you're gonna need different advice from someone who's just trying to become an illustrator. And because those are both two different animals. Like, or if you want to be an animator,
is this for a visual novel type game? That's the vibe I'm getting. Is like some sort of indie horror mystery kind of game. Because
from what I remember last time we talked, you had a great fondness of horror and wanted to do stuff that was in the horror genre. If I remember correctly, that's like eons ago now. Even if it was, earlier in the year, it's still eons.
No, don't apologize. You just didn't know that you need to do that.
Yeah, no, no need to apologize. It's just one of those things that, like, artists aren't really ever really equipped because no one ever told them that's what they need to understand.
Yeah.
It's because art is usually at least when it's
it is for an indie horror visual novel. Yeah. No, it looks exactly like it. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine. Because like high school art class or any
game.
Most art classes don't really tell you like, oh, you know, you're trying to make a business out of this. How do you improve and how do you make, you know, know what the right questions to ask are? Because usually those level of classes are like, you know, oh, we're just here to have fun, you know, we're here to, you know.
There's a game this reminds me of, but I can't remember what it's called.
Express ourselves and shit.
It's about some girl who goes to some small town. Fuck. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I can't remember if it was released earlier this year or last year. It has different chapters. And this gives me like the same vibe. And if you know what the game is already, like, then it's probably good to go. Then you might have been influenced by it, or you should check it out. What was it called, though? Oh, I cannot remember what it was called. Damn it. Let me see, hold on. Alright, Ash, go eat some dinner. Let's see, I think consistency of character and proportions is something I'm struggling with. The character's face in the phone booth looks a bit off to me.
Yeah, no, that's totally reasonable. So when you draw your characters, where do you get your reference? Or do you reference your characters? Like looking at real photos, things like that? Or are you looking at, you know, real people when you draw? Or are you looking at, you know, anime, for lack of a better word?
Yeah, no, that's about the only word.
Yeah. Because when you want to make sure your characters stay on model or things like that, it's really helpful if you find a real person to look at. Like a lot of artists, like Eiichiro Oda is really known for this. He'll look at like, you know, real famous people and then just kind of cartoonize them, like, you know, exaggerate their features, things like that, so that it helps him, you know, get a good idea of like how the character looks, and you can also get a lot better reference of them in multiple emotions.
So they reference from real photos and anime.
Real photos and anime. Okay. I would stop looking at anime for a bit, if that makes sense, because and this is just me talking. Because I'm a little biased when it comes to this kind of stuff. So whatever I say, you know, take it with a grain of salt. Art suffers when all you look at is anime or cartoons or other art.
Other art.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
Because, you know, you start comparing yourself to that. You start kind of just taking on their style. You don't really find something that is uniquely your voice.
I cannot find this game.
In a lot of ways. Because also, like, looking at real life is a lot more interesting because, you know, anime, comics, cartoons, things like that, they all kind of are parasitic off of each other.
Yeah, if the best ones get stuff from the real world and turn it into that style. They don't always, like, look at other anime unless they're trying to be like a parody of it or something.
Yeah, like another artist that's really good is the creator of Soul Eater and Fire Force. He didn't really look at anime and manga when he did his stuff. He looked at graffiti.
Yeah.
His whole style is dedicated to graffiti. Because like you look at his first stuff like Biichi.
Oh yeah.
And it looks very anime. And then, like, all of a sudden, it starts, like, looking a lot better because he stops, like, you know, doing anime and starts doing whatever he was, like really inspired by, which is, you know, street art and things like that. And boy, there was some art I've seen from Beach, and I was like, holy shit. I draw better than this.
Oh, yeah. No, some of it's not good.
How the fuck did this happen?
There are some mangas that are like that when they first start, or like the creator's first stuff that gets published.
Yeah.
And it just does not look very good.
You're like, holy fuck. And then, yeah, but usually they're given time because a lot of people, like, even if their art's not good, like, if their story is something that's there, people will give them a chance. Things like that. Like the original One Punch Man, the art there is just not very good. But
that's different.
Yeah, but the story was really good, so it got picked up. But that's a completely different thing altogether. But the point is that like I feel like you should look at real people, 9 times out of 10 as opposed to looking at other artists. Not only because when you look at other artists, it becomes like a parasitic thing. It's also because you look at other artists and you start to compare yourself to them, and you start you stop creating because you're like, oh, I'll never be as good as X person because I want to be X person, and you shouldn't think like that. You should try to be like, well, I'm going to try to be the best version of me that I can be when it comes to creating. And that comes from doing a lot of the basics, looking at real people, looking at real animals, real life. Like the guy who did Kamen Rider, Shotaro Ishinomori, like he did like a shitload of ink drawings a day, and all of them were of things he would go like to the zoo, or like he would just go to random parts of the city and just kind of sit down and draw people that he saw. And that helped him like kind of better understand how people move, and how once you have a good understanding of how people move IRL, you can start to tweak it and make it like more exaggerated, because that's what cartooning is. It's an exaggeration of real life.
Yeah.
And how you do it is your own personal adventure, and by kind of just copy pasting a style that you've already seen, or things that you've already looked at, is not conducive to making something that's wholly your own. So that'd be like, but if you're worried about faces not looking the same, not the consistency, things like that, find a model like of a real person that your character looks like I don't know, I don't know really many, because the character's redheaded, so if you can find an actor or actress or somebody who
I'm also not very good with celebrities off the top of my head.
Not even that.
I don't know who this looks like, but you can just find a real human being.
Like models are all they all have Instagrams now. Follow one of them and be like, oh, it's based off of this person. If you're worried about the model being like, hey man, you're using my likeness or something like that.
Yeah. If it's just a small thing, nobody's even gonna notice, first of all.
But yeah.
But
all that to say basically is that look more at real life. You'll find that drawing from real life will help you in drawing your parody of life with the supernatural and things like that. And work on the line art. Just doing practicing with because you're using digital for the line art, correct? Like you're not doing it off in real paper with real ink, right? And then scanning it in and then doing it, or you're just doing it straight?
They haven't answered that yet. But they did say thanks for the advice, and practicing is a good idea. Yeah. I find some that he looks like them. Still trying to find this game. I cannot remember what this game was called. I remember the plot.
Did it take place in Ireland?
No.
Because I remember Ireland was involved at some point in one of our conversations.
No, I think I know the one you're talking about. God, I can't remember it. It was like a visual novel type game. It was from Kickstarter, I think. It has chapters. Damn, I can't remember it because this style really reminds me of it. Sort of locked into the line art style a bit, I think.
You're saying
the game? Oh yeah, your game. Oh, this game is in Ireland. Oh, is that what you were talking about?
Yeah.
This game. Okay, yeah. No, that makes sense from the pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were asking about mine, the one.
No.
Okay.
I remember we had talked about this now. It's starting to come back to me, is what it is. And I was like, oh, I think this game that he's making take place in Ireland.
Yeah, no, this game I'm trying to find is you go to some town, you're related to someone who owns a mine. I just cannot remember what the fucking name of it is.
But yeah, you said locked into the art style or line art style.
I think that's it. Scarlet Hollow. I think that's it.
I would say avoid that. I would say avoid. That's another one of those words.
That's it. Yeah, it reminds me of this game.
Scarlet Hollow.
Like, not in a bad way, but like that's the vibe I'm getting. Is this game? I'm guessing you must have played this game then.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, that was the game. That was the game this reminded me of.
The word "that's my style" or something like that, or
yeah,
phrase.
It says you're locked into the line art style a bit.
I mean, you can have line art. I would just say improve it by having weight to the lines.
It just needs to be a little. Yeah.
Let me show you what I mean. Real quick here.
Zoom in. Yeah, just do it on the back one or something.
So, when you have like lines, like this is a fairly like straight like dead line. When you have like someone who has like weight, you want to do like this is the underside, so you have like a thick line that goes from there to there, thin to thick, thin.
Oh, it's like an eye.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you can make this like the eyelash or something. You can even make it like anything. Really.
It looks like a closed eye to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the vibe I'm getting. It's very like esoteric and mystic, Yeah, now we're gone there. Yeah, there we go.
See, like that? And like that can help add depth without having to do a lot of like the coloring and things like that to make
it. You mean locked in and for this project? No, well, yeah, we're just saying that the lines all look the same.
Yeah, because you can have lines and stuff like that. I'm just telling you is that like in order to improve line art, it helps to have varied weights for the line to help give weight to the character, weight to what's happening, because you have it helps make the scene a little bit better. It helps with composition. It helps with a lot of different things just by having various line weights. But yeah, no, I understand if you're like, oh, this is what it needs to be for the entirety of the thing, but you can still make the line art better by adding varying line weights.
Yeah, you might have to go back and redo the stuff at the beginning if it does look like a lot different.
But that's my thing is that too is like I would try to avoid the word style.
Yeah.
Especially going forward doing art and things like that. I understand like clients want you to draw it a specific way sometimes, but like the term that's my if you ever run it,
people on the outside should be using the word style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they should say I want it in this style and you're like I think I got you. You know?
Because it's like how do I put this?
Like you don't want to describe it as style to yours.
No, it's not that. It's like so a lot of artists you'll meet if you go to school for it is they'll say X is my style.
Yeah.
And X is my style is usually slang for I'm not very good at X thing, so I'm going to cover it up by saying it's how I do things. And that can be a pit trap for
it's a defense.
Yeah, improving yourself because you're like, like someone says you should, X like, oh, your hands all look like balls and.
I knew you were gonna go to hands. Yeah,
and you're like, oh, that's just my style. It's like, well, no, that means you just don't know how to fucking draw hands. Like,
yeah, you can. Because a lot of the stuff, like, you can see, like, yeah, cartoon characters are weirdly designed, but when you have to know how to draw a normal person first, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't just, because the person who draws...
You understand the anatomy of things, that way you can shift the anatomy around.
Yeah, it's basic 101 of cartooning.
Yeah, it's that kind of adage of, like, you have to know the rules to break them.
Mm-hmm.
So...
But yeah, if you're when you say you're locked into a style because of whatever for the project, that makes sense. But
don't know how to fucking draw hands. Yeah, I mean, no one does. I mean, unless you're really good at it, you just have to practice them.
Yeah, you just have to be
and reference them
and how to be horikoshi.
Yeah, like don't be afraid to like ask someone else, like, hey, can you do something like this with your hands, and then take a picture of it, and use that as a reference. Like, just do that. Like, artists do that all the time. I've seen old Magic the Gathering, like, stuff where the artists actually, like, had their friends put on goofy outfits and other shit like that.
Yeah.
And take pictures of them. Like, one of the artists had his wife, like, hold up some cardboard cutout shields that he made in the style or from the style guide, you know, like, and hold those and like stuff like that, you know. But yeah, if by like the style of it, you might mean like the theme or like the mood, kind of, which like you're going for like the grays and this kind of, again, I don't know exactly how to describe it. I'm not very good at the art, but like, I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This look that it has, kind of like it, like because you want like because that's what makes it instantly recognizable as an indie horror visual novel game. Yeah, and that's different from like just, you know, working on line weight and making the characters have some depth.
Yeah, because giving the characters some line weight will definitely help them, like, for lack of, like, you know, better word, for what you had asked for earlier, you know, when you said, does it look amateurish, you know, having the varied line weight helps give the look of this is made by someone who was paid a lot of money.
Yeah, it looks more polished.
Yeah.
Because it's like you said, the difference between amateur and professional is pretty much that one gets paid.
Yeah.
Like, you can find plenty of really good amateur chess players, you know, but they don't get paid, you know, and they'll still beat all of our asses.
Yeah.
You know? Let's see. Really helpful, guys. Thank you so much. It's a good point about the whole style thing. I should maybe try to improve my line quality and revisit work if it ends up looking very different from all the current stuff.
Yeah, and there's no shame in going back and making stuff look better. Like like especially with comics page 1 is always going to look like ass by the time you get to page 25.
Yeah.
And, you know, you got to, like, just be like, well, I already know it's going to look like ass because, you know, I've improved, you know, by these 25 pages that I've just done. And, you know, you can always go back to it later, but you don't want to end up pulling a Scott McCloud and being stuck on the same fucking book for 14 years.
Sheesh.
That's
a lot.
Yeah, he's stuck on this, and it's not a good book either. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Ouch.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
He's an old guy, so, like, you know, his idea, like,
that makes sense.
when you're old, sometimes you're
just stuck.
Yeah. Long story short is no one wants to hear the musings of a 50-year-old because, you know, they don't really have as much interesting to say because, you know, everything they, you know, want to say is something that's already been talked about.
Probably.
Because basically it was a story like that was just basically just their modern take on Pygmalion.
Oh, okay.
And it was just kind of boring.
That sounds, you know, that makes sense. But yeah, no, the vibe is good though. The vibe in the pictures, like I said, like that the vibe and the mood is fine. Like the colors look good and things like that. I mean, you know, like. I can also tell this dog is referenced.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good. Combination of trying to become a better artist and also just wanting tons of finished art for my game. Well, I mean, those two will go hand in hand generally.
Yeah. I mean,
usually if you just start doing more art, it'll be better by the end of it, like you said.
Yeah.
As long as you, like
we're talking,
know you're going for something.
Like, you talk about just, like, the mangaka in general, like Soul Eater. The art looks completely different at the very end of it, but you can still tell it's by the same artist, you know?
Yeah, because usually if you draw something more and more and more, you'll kind of find, like, shortcuts or, like, the way you like drawing it, if that makes sense. Is that a way to describe it? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it'll become...
more polished.
Yeah, more polished, you know, just by doing it over and over again.
You'll just understand how to use the material you're doing better.
Yeah. You'll just have more experience with what you're doing.
Level up.
It's the same with if you try doing the, you know, the water bottle flip 1,000 times.
Yeah.
You know, by the end of it, you're probably much better than when you started.
Yeah.
Because you understand how the water bottle flips. You know what I mean? It's just a dumb way to put it.
Yeah.
So. That's if you're, like, paying attention a lot and trying to learn. Because otherwise, yeah, you can do the same thing 1,000 times and you're not going to get anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if something you do over and over again isn't working, that means that it's just not worth doing.
Yeah.
Because if you keep doing it, that's kind of the definition of insanity.
Pretty much, yeah.
Same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Let's see. Looking dope, by the way. Thanks. It looks great.
Appreciate it.
I think it's coming along swimmingly. What's the origin of that?
Swimmingly?
Yeah. Like using it that way? Smoothly and satisfactory. That's the definition according to Google. But where is the...
Etymology?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. The origin of swimmingly to mean with steady, smooth progress in an easy, gliding manner probably descends from swims. It says like, oh God, I can never pronounce this word. It sounds like, it looks like hoary, like ori or whatever. Floating meaning rather than its watery locomotion meaning. Interesting. Okay. But I don't know the oldest use of this, though. Let's see. With traditional art, once you go back, can you never go back? Oh, once you go black, can you never go back? What do you... Oh, you mean just like... What are you talking about?
Going to do... I imagine it's like, oh, if you do traditional, could you ever do digital? I mean, I do, but I don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of digital artists. They just are like, I can't do traditional.
Yeah, there's plenty of other artists that way too. Like there's plenty of people who can do both.
Yeah, sometimes they switch from one to the other. You know, like you can go forward, backward, do both. It's a tool. You know,
yeah.
Like the marker is a tool, just like the stylus.
Yeah, it's a matter of whatever you're used to. Or
yeah, you just learn how to use it more. You learn what you like to use more than what you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't normally use things you don't like using, if that makes sense. Like, I've used a jackhammer before, but I really don't want to fucking do it again, you know?
Yeah.
With shading?
Oh, like shading? I mean, I don't know. They're very different. It's like, I also use watercolor, I use paint, I use a lot of different things, so like, you know, they're each different. Like I couldn't tell you, like, they all kind of just are different, and you know, they have different uses for different times or for different things that I'm trying to do. Because like, I mean, you know, I do these marker ones because they're quick, simple, and you can do them on a smaller scale. Yeah, you get this done. You get this done way faster than when you do it digitally. Yeah, because digitally, you know, you have to make sure that there's like a lot of different things going.
There's all those values and stuff. I'm going to use generic art words. I don't actually know, but you know,
it's more like just because you have to like set it up and then use particular brushes to get the right textures that you're looking for. You know, it's just different.
Yeah, it always depends on like what the look you want is.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it's about. You have to use the right tools for the job, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If you want your art to look like chalk, you probably just want to use chalk, you know?
Pretty much, yeah.
So, and there are artists that do stuff in chalk.
Yeah.
let's see. Lost in translation, I was trying to say, it was interesting to watch you shade with traditional art like you're doing. It's hard to make something lighter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what you meant to say? You meant, like, once you make it too dark, you can't go that it's light? I wasn't sure if I was getting something was kind of maybe... I thought it was, some sort of thing of, like, you know, once you put the line down, you can't really, like, erase it, that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So, okay, so they're saying it's hard to go back to it being lighter.
Oh, sometimes, yeah. But, like, they have tools for that. Like, I've got, like, pens and other things that you can make go and do white. So, like
it is, yeah. I mean, it's generally going to be a little harder, but... Yeah. But the, you know, whiteout exists right here, so...
See? And you can also just kind of like go in and make other tones and things like that.
So it's also interesting to see how the lips look so dark until the context of the face gets shaded.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah, no, that's... once you start throwing the skin on, things can change a lot. Or the background color, things like that. Also, this character is all about the lips.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the best character for that one artist to draw on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
The guy that always draws like all the lips like this character is basically.
Yeah.
I feel like he saw this character and was just like, that's the only lips I'm drawing.
Forever, yeah.
Yeah. Which, I don't blame him.
No, I don't either.
This character's all about the lips.
Yeah. I'm all about them lips.
He's got the lips.
I love my lips.
Let's see. Color seems to change by just what's around it. Yeah, it does, actually. That's kind of how your eye works, also. The human eye is a very weird thing. It's kind of easy to, like, trick in ways.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, like, a film is just a bunch of pictures moving really fast.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. But to your eye, it looks like just like when things move in real life. What?
This fucking dude.
Oh, yeah, no, this guy was great. It's like one of the highlight characters of this series.
Mm-hmm.
Lighting also affects a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The coloring of this camera is a smidge off too, but... So, like, if you ever see these pieces in person, they'll look different between, like, how they look on this video, how I take a picture of it for Patreon, whatever room we're standing in at the time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, if you got it, it'll look different where you put it, you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
What type of frame you put it in, too, can have a little bit of difference, too. What's a light border frame, dark border frame? Those UV protective frames, the class usually isn't too weird, I don't think.
It's not too tinted.
It's not too tinted. They don't do that. So that won't look too different. But... brings the pecs and wholesome vibes? Yes, definitely.
You always forget that he's a traumatized
right.
POW.
It's true. And he has killed. Yeah. And he'll do it again.
He was complacent in mass genocide.
That's true. That's how it goes when you're in the army.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. such a good series.
I know. I do like that his mustache always moved.
Mm-hmm.
For his mouth. That was always fun.
Best reaction to PTSD you've ever seen, yeah, right?
He's a good man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's wild. Yeah, thinking about all the stuff that happened in the Asian Ball War.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy, man. And that was all orchestrated by envy.
That's how it goes.
It's good. It's good writing.
Yeah. It's good because it's like cohesive. None of it ever feels like, you know, quote, an ass pull, as people like to say.
Yeah. It feels like it was like, you know, something wanted.
Generally something that, in my opinion, generally when people say like it's an ass pull, it's something that's not properly foreshadowed.
Mm-hmm.
I think usually.
You mean Kaguya?
Yeah, right. So, or just like character has a new move all of a sudden or something. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. People use that term, I feel like, for when something happens that isn't really like properly set up a lot of the time. Because it does feel like it just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. It's kind of funny though.
But also, oh, sorry.
Oh, looking at the body, because if you look at his body in the manga versus the anime, his manga body is a lot more, how do I put this, like a real person.
Yeah.
As opposed to the anime, because like, you know, you see like the, don't come to me, Twitter, goddamn. You see like this clip here, like he's got like, you know, he's very thin down there, but in the manga he's a little bit thicker, he's a little closer to the body type of the husband.
Yeah. Because like an actual person who gets like shredded, like gets more like that versus like sculpted. Mm-hmm. You know? Like a body like builder is way different than a weightlifter. Yeah. You know, like the muscle form is very different.
He's much thicker in this version than he was in the original one.
Yeah, in vanilla.
Yeah. Vanilla is just, you know, whatever that is supposed to be.
Always wondered if his hair was literally one lock or if that was supposed to be more insinuating. Not sure. I thought he just had
the one thing. He's got the one little curl. It's a style.
Man among men.
Yeah.
Yeah, this fucking picture.
Right?
Oh no. That's fucking dated.
Oh my god, like with the iPod thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really dated.
That's wild.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Wow. Look at that. Look at us.
He's got the one little curly cue. That's it. That's all he needs. Keeps it simple.
Love that.
Just a twirl of gel right there, done.
I love that one guy went on the date with his younger sister.
Yes.
And he was like expecting a weird gorilla.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she's like, you're not really my type. My type is more like my brother.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the creator of this series is great. Makes any of that because like there was one person that found out that she draws manga and it was a little girl. She's like, "Oh, do you draw like pretty princesses and things?" And she's like, "Yeah, kid."
Yeah, totally.
Sorry, I draw sweaty old dudes.
Couldn't break their heart.
Couldn't bring myself to break them like that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You're shaving around your one forehead hair every day. That's like Felicia, you know?
Yeah.
We were joking where she shaves like that.
Yeah. Bro, she shaves her entire body.
Yeah, she shaves to get the sexy boob window.
Yeah. Because she knows what's up.
Yeah. Felicia from Darkstalkers. I'll send a picture.
Cat girl.
Yeah, cat girl. Yeah, we were joking that this character shaves to look like this.
It's the only logical thing.
Yeah, otherwise it wouldn't make sense, you know. She's like a cat demon or something. I don't know. It says Catwoman for her race, so...
I thought it was like a Nekomata.
I couldn't remember, because, you know, these are all supernatural characters and such.
Yeah.
Yeah, this character. She's like one of the most well-known Darkstalkers characters. It's like her and Morgan. And then Seiko, probably.
I was thinking Lilith.
And Lilith. Lilith and Morgan kind of like, I feel like people, like, interchangeably, the same people would probably assume it was the same character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, the two Succubus, this character are like are probably the three most popular, and then after that you have Seiko, the zombie girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, full body wax. Yeah, right. The full Kelly Clarkson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You gotta push through the pain. There's no beauty without pain.
Mm-hmm. And that's why he's so beautiful, is because he has a lot of pain.
That's true. It's true.
He is a little tired, but he might go out.
I fucking love that sketch. Oh, man. And because it's like him and the guy from Over on High.
Yeah.
Like, talking. That shit is so funny. Oh, my God.
But I might go out.
Well,
call me if you do. But I probably won't.
You're a monster. You made me this way.
Yeah. It's a good shit.
Look at us now, having it out in the comments.
I said to message me, not post it in the comments.
Yeah, oh my god, so funny. It's like, you want more people to watch these, but they're so dated at this point.
Yeah.
Because it's comedy, you know?
Yeah.
And especially referential, like, comedy.
Yeah.
Dear God, like, it would be so... Some of the movies that I've seen over my life are, like, so hard to watch with people without, like... Because if they don't know the whole context of, like, history, you know?
Yeah. Because, like, a lot of the jokes are usually, like, pop culture.
Yeah, they're, like, topical pop culture or political jokes, you know? And so it's like... Gerald Ford fell down a lot, you know? Like, you have to explain some of the stuff. Yeah.
I don't even remember him falling down a lot. I feel like it was like the one time, and then
it's just a couple times, and he was like real kind of clumsy, I think.
Yeah.
But so everyone just kept parodying that.
Yeah, because Chevy Chase would always do a fall, and he usually was caught as Henry Ford, not Henry Ford.
I'm gonna let him go.
Oh,
Can you get it? Can you remember it?
No,
I said it too.
You did. No, I just can't.
Keep going through.
Time to go to the internet.
Ford Mustang.
Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah. Gerald Ford is really good.
Yeah, literally threw every Ford. Wow, that's amazing.
He threw every Ford under the bus.
I did, yeah.
Other than the Ford F-150.
Yeah, that's really funny. But yeah, no, that's why Chevy Chase did the fall and also injured himself.
Yeah.
And then there was the one episode where Richard Pryor was the host for SNL. So Garrett Morris, the token black actor on SNL, got to do the fall.
Yeah.
Which was also really funny. because he didn't do it very well. He just like threw the thing on the ground and then just like flopped over, and then it was like, no, you gotta do it like this. And then Chevy Chase falls, injuring himself, and then Gary Morris is like, live from New York.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like topical humor like that. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no way. Like trying to watch like some of those old movies, like Airplane is still mostly works.
Yeah, like you can watch like
you can watch Airplane, and I think it still holds up, and you don't have to explain as much. But like some of them would be a little harder. I think.
You can watch like old Marx Brothers films. But,
anything that's like physical comedy, that's different.
Because that's vaudeville.
Physical comedy is way different.
Well, it's because like also we're talking about like how far back can we go? Before we can go like where it becomes.
Well, it depends on the type of comedy. Because again, if it's referential, parody kind of stuff. But I mean, the stuff in those movies, there are parodies of some things, but a lot of the humor is just like wordplay.
Yeah, well, it's because like also with Airplane or with Naked Gun or a lot of those Leslie Nielsen movies. Not all of them are referential. A lot of them are like the physical
prop humor. Physical humor. Yeah. So
that's why it's like
but some stuff you might not get.
Like because like with specifically like Airplane, there's like the line where he's like nervous, and it's like first time? No, I've been nervous before. Yeah. Things like that. That's easy.
No, that one's easy. But like understanding that like the pilot is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you might not quite get that. Like the kid makes the joke about him being a basketball player, but you're kind of like, I guess,
Yeah.
If you don't really know.
Or like because like the joke about them going through TSA and the person getting tackled, and they have a bunch of people who are like with weapons like guns. And,
it wasn't called TSA at the time, but
them going through that,
the security,
and things. And that is technically topical, but that is something that it still works. It still works because that's something that's going to be eternal.
Yeah.
Because of everything going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So like things like that.
Yeah, some of them still work, but some of them don't.
Because like I'm trying to think of like jokes in Airplane that were particularly topical or popular.
There is a Gerald Ford reference where they're like talking specifically about the part where he's like under or something. When he went in for surgery or something, he was under.
Yeah.
It's like a very specific joke about that.
Yeah, that is a very specific.
There was some other one I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
But yeah, most of Airplane is just
most of it's physical. That one's way easier.
Because they just go like,
But like, if you were to watch, like Scary Movie?
Yeah, Scary Movie, you can't do that.
Scary Movie, no, it would barely make any sense if you've never seen any of those movies.
Or just a horror film in general.
Yeah.
And especially also if you get to like the later Scary Movies, because like Scary Movie 1 is like mostly just referential to other horror movies. Then you get to Scary Movies 2 and 3, and then it's all of a sudden a lot more pop culture because you get that weird bit where they're talking about like Tom Cruise being weird and like on Oprah, because like that thing that happened that I'm pretty sure not everyone remembers.
No, it's kind of once you start to like a movie like that, and it's harder. You can't really make a movie like that anymore because again, culture became like so stratified. Like it's just too split. Like. Because everyone doesn't really see all the same movies anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone doesn't have to watch the same, I'm going to go with like 100 TV channels, things like that. It's like how you go to the Anime Con now and like, it's just, I don't recognize half the shit, or more. But it's not like a big deal because it's not like, it's just not series I'm going to be into or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like when I went to A-Kon the first time and I recognized everybody's costume, and like you could talk to anyone about any anime because there wasn't even that many translated into English and everyone watched everything that was on Toonami, and all of that stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I feel like Airplane's a lot more physical.
No, Airplane would be easy. Airplane's easy. There's some jokes in like, Kentucky Fried Movie that probably would need a little bit. Like some of them don't make sense.
I'm just trying to think of like movies that are much more like parody movies. Like
it's mostly those movies that were made in the 2000s.
Yeah, because I'm thinking because Accepted doesn't really have too much like
Accepted? No, that's not a movie like that. No, Accepted's not a movie like that.
I'm just thinking of comedy movies that I've seen that were in the early to mid 2000s. That
like I said, any of the movies that are in the like scary movie, whatever movie.
Yeah.
Those you definitely wouldn't.
Yeah, but I don't really think those movies aren't very good. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? They're not like they're not like great. Like I feel like a lot of them are really fucking bad.
Like, most of them are. The only good ones are like the first two scary movies.
Yeah.
That's it. Because after that, it was just like, all right, we kind of got a formula here.
Yeah, because they have like, superhero movie,
Yeah, no, all of them are bad after the first two. Hold on. Let's see. Scary Movie was one of the first movies I watched secretly online while living under the shadow of my extremely religious family. I didn't understand any of it. Yeah, exactly. Because you need to have seen a million different horror movies. Or at least mostly Scream.
Yeah, mostly
technically.
Scream,
If you had seen Scream, you would at least be like, he has the mask from Scream. You know what I mean? So.
Or if you've, you said Christian parents, if you've ever heard of marijuana.
Yeah.
If you haven't, then this movie's going to be a little bit of a hard time
for you. Yeah.
Most of the jokes seem to be about that.
There was a lot of weed jokes, yeah.
Because, they made, I don't know. It's tough. Cause,
those definitely...
Because
trying to think of some weirder ones.
Naked Gun is a parody movie.
Oh, Naked Gun, yeah.
But I don't remember much pop culture in that. I remember them referencing... I know
some background jokes that are like you would need to know.
Yeah, but
there's a I'd have to rewatch them though.
Yeah,
because those are probably the things I don't remember as much.
Yeah, because most of that film though, I just remember the more physical comedy.
Yeah, I remember the physical comedy a lot more and the wordplay a lot more.
Yeah.
But I feel like if we rewatched it, we'd probably be like, oh, if you didn't know this thing, this might not be the same.
Yeah. Because
because those Naked Gun movies are fucking hilarious. All of them are good.
I feel like the comedies that stand the test of time are the ones that don't really make that much referential humor.
Oh yeah, no, I would agree.
It's just that some of the ones that are dated in terms of the humor is the usual.
The subject matter of the humor is generally what's dated. The entire funny part of this movie is that the guy is gay.
Yeah,
that might not have aged well.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, because
so you have to kind of be like, oh yeah, this would have been funny at the time,
Because Mean Girls is comedy, and that movie is still pretty funny, even though the quote topical things was high school at that era.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure
I think the overarching theme still mostly works.
Yeah, because having a hard time fitting in is a very a theme everyone can get behind.
Yeah, clickiness, that kind of thing.
October 3rd being an important date.
Yeah, right. I do love the fandom overlap. Let's see, all I knew about drugs at the time was that if I went to Dublin, I would immediately become addicted to heroin. I like it.
I feel it, yeah. Never been to Dublin. I hear it's a nice place, but...
I haven't either, and I'm also not addicted to heroin. Coincidence?
Possibly.
I think so. Oh yeah, I was make sure it's the right tattoo on the right arm.
Yeah, no, I've been looking.
Yeah, I figured you had, but I was just this is an easy thing to, anyone could mess this up, Also, there's a weird one on the Aegis you drew, the armband is on the wrong arm, but that's official art with it on the wrong arm.
Yeah.
Which is what's weird. It threw me off. When I saw it, I was like, I know the book he's referencing, and I saw the figure he referenced, and it looks like this, but it's wrong. I was like, what the fuck?
It's probably because the sprites in the game, they don't care because they just flip it. So it's probably why the person who made it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they just thought it would look better in the picture. Is my guess.
Yeah.
Because it kind of does.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But do you know what I'm talking about?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one, and I was like, that is weird,
Yeah, no.
I think one time in a sketch you almost went to draw something on the wrong side of someone also, but I don't remember what it was.
Couldn't tell you.
I couldn't either, which is why I can't finish this, story. It was quickly fixed,
Yeah.
We were like, hold on, what, And I know you had the play on the sprite thing in the Street Fighter one.
Yeah.
Where canonically this got eyes, the other one, but you're doing a screenshot of the game where it works that way. So like that makes sense, you know. I think it was just we couldn't remember, and the picture we looked at was fan art.
Yeah.
And theirs was wrong. It was something like that, or that fan art had been flipped.
Possibly.
Something dumb like that, but I cannot remember like what it was for at all or anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I do know we had some debate on Saito at one point for him being left-handed.
Yeah.
And we had to because I think it had something to do with that, because someone flipped something and we were like, no, this is wrong in this picture.
Because Saito's left-handed.
Yeah, because he's left-handed.
That was his whole gimmick. Although,
yeah,
I feel like there were times where he used his right hand.
There was a couple times where he did it in a fight because he had to.
Yeah.
Or like it was it was like, oh shit, he used the other hand. Because the real guy he's based off of is left-handed as well.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if there was any times where he did use his right hand, and I'm pretty sure there was, but
yeah.
But no, he is in fact left-handed.
Yeah, no, he was left-handed.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. I think it was just there was a picture and we saw it and it looked weird. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what it was. But that kind of stuff does come up again, because when you're, like we've talked about this, when you're going to find references and you can only find a bunch of fan art, it's really fucking annoying.
I also like the usual bit of the Tanjiro with the scar on the wrong side.
That for sure. So many fucking cosplayers with that shit on the wrong side.
It's because they're looking in the mirror.
They're looking in the mirror, yeah.
How it goes.
I know, right?
Cosplay struggle.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Now, I like when the Naruto cosplayers have their headband upside down.
Oh my god, yeah, that's
that one. I don't know how you did that. I don't know how you didn't see that after you looked in the mirror.
No. If you don't look in the mirror, I can see how you do it, because you look at it and you go, oh, it's right side up because I'm looking at it.
Oh,
and
man.
And then you go flip, put it on your head, and then it's like, oh, now it's upside down.
Yeah. I guess I don't know how you don't catch that before you leave.
Yeah,
because I generally look in the mirror a lot, even when I like put the Black Bulls one on first, you know, like I check and then I put it on and I look at it in the mirror and I line it up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember there was like some Kakashi with like a really good wig also.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, how did he not notice? Like he must have put it on and then went, unless it was like attached to the wig. I couldn't even figure it out. But yeah, I remember. I've definitely seen that a couple times where the Naruto cosplayers' headbands are on upside down.
Again, it happens, and
it's just funny. I know Mike said he wanted to cosplay Scar once.
Oh yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, he was like, "I'm gonna make that thing, put it on my forehead, and then get a tan." That was how he said he was gonna do it instead of doing makeup. He was gonna just put the thing on his face.
Good luck.
And then lie in the sun or try to get a tan, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's fucking hilarious.
That sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah, that does does sound like something Mike would cosplay too.
Oh yeah. No,
I haven't seen a Scar cosplayer in a long time.
I felt like I saw one recently at one of the shows we were at. I don't remember if you were at the booth though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it doesn't come up as much. It's a lot harder to do.
Oh no, I think it was someone had the tattoos.
Yeah, we saw.
That's what it was.
Yeah, we saw people with the tattoos.
Yeah, they had the official tattoos. But I feel like I have seen a cosplayer at least once this year, but I don't know where.
Mm-hmm.
It does not come up as much though. That's for sure. Everyone just usually cosplays like Winry the most, honestly, because their costume's really easy.
And that's kind of funny though, looking at looking at vanilla Scar versus
yeah,
because like this person vanilla looks fucking nothing like him.
Yeah,
because then like this one is like, oh yeah, there it is. He's got cheekbones there.
Yeah,
yeah. Like what the fuck? They yassified him or whatever that joke is.
I think it's like it looks like a little softer.
Yeah,
like some of the other characters in the show, because I feel like the overall character design, the characters are less defined in the vanilla one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, or less sharp. You know.
Yeah.
Something like that, maybe. I'm not sure exactly.
It's just funny.
No, yeah. They're like smoother.
The night and day.
Yeah. Doesn't help that the animation is just much better as well.
Oh yeah.
So.
It is funny though. I do remember someone talking about like, oh yeah, one of the first animes I saw was Fullmetal Alchemist, and after that, everything has not been nearly as like exciting.
I could almost agree with that.
Yeah.
I'd have to know their exact anime lineup to debate them, but
well, it's because like you watch Fullmetal Alchemist, and from what I understood, listening to them talk, they saw Fullmetal Alchemist and then were immediately put into watching other shonen.
Oh yeah, no, that's not gonna work.
Yeah,
no, that's not gonna work. Most shonen are nowhere near the level of like complexity of Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah, no.
Like I said, most. Like a shonen, the shonen is like two genres. It's punchy man punch good, or punchy kid want to become punchy man punch good.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like the defining like paths of shonen. Like I don't think Fullmetal Alchemist is a shonen series. Is it? Does it count?
It ran in Gigan, which is a shonen magazine.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay.
On that technicality.
Technically, it's not like Shonen Jump, obviously. Or anything like that. So yeah. So I wasn't sure because
it ran in the same magazine as Soul Eater.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, it did because it's a Square Enix one. Yeah.
It's because there's a lot of covers of Maeca and Edward hanging out.
I remember those now. You're right. But yeah, I would say you can't really compare this to almost any of them because, like, it kind of has an actual plot, you know? Like a plot that's defined by a real narrative.
Yeah. Not
like, oh, the main character must get stronger, is the solution usually always.
Yeah, it's usually never that. It's usually the solution is we need to find somebody who can help us out here, who knows something a bit more than we do.
Yeah. It's not about, like, oh, now now Edward can go super alchemist level 7 at the end.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how this series works. So it's kind of tough to compare it. It's like comparing, like, Death Note to other shonen mangas because it was in Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
Like, Light never became, like, notebook user grade 7 or 8 or whatever, Like, it doesn't work like that.
If it did, I probably would never have read it.
No, God no.
Yeah, here, this is, it's like some shonen tropes, but also political, seinen mystery, So it's
the complexity. The plot is much more complex.
Yeah.
Like, Naruto doesn't have a very complex plot.
No.
Like, it has some, like, interesting ideas and complex ideas that it puts forward, but at the end of the day, those are swept under the rug so that, the Rasengan can blow something up.
Pretty much.
So, we're like DBZ. DBZ has, like, nothing as a plot. It doesn't have a plot. What's the plot of Dragon Ball Z? Nothing. It doesn't. You were going to say?
Someone was telling me that the reason they got into WWE wrestling was because of Dragon Ball.
I could feel that. No, it's really popular with like that type of crowd. I mean, again, it's hyper masculine, so like that is why a lot of more of the like minority demographics like it, and they like shonen in particular because they have like hyper masculine cultures.
Yeah.
So it really like resonates. But yeah, no, there's a massive crossover between like people who watch Dragon Ball Z and people who watch WWF.
Yeah.
And I did both also when I was a kid. So
the Venn diagram is actually a circle.
Pretty much. It would be very strange if you were a kid at that same time to not watch both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Let's see. You're describing why I love FMA and not really shonen?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. I do have some degree of media literacy.
Most shonen is pretty whatever.
Yeah, most generic shonen is like, again, they're all very much the same, but it's about like
how you do it.
Okay, so there's a quote from Napoleon that says like a throne is just a chair covered in velvet. So that's kind of how a lot of those are. It's about the velvet you cover it in.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the cloth you put over the chair that defines like whether a shonen is good or not, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, and that's stuff like the setting, like the individual characters' personalities,
and how they go about punchy good men.
Yeah, that too.
Like Jujutsu Kaisen is a good shonen because it does a lot of different things and it makes a lot of story decisions that most shonen would shy away from.
Yeah.
Because like,
so that's a lot different.
Yeah, like, we're going to kill off most of your cast like halfway through the series because you're like, I want this to be a bit different.
Ooh, watch out there.
Yeah, so you actually came right back on time. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, we're showing off all the art here at the end. Hopefully it'll stay there long enough so I can kind of pan over it here. So I'm actually going to close back in and we'll do We were talking about stuff with shonen and things like that. Like
we were actually talking about the art that was being made.
We actually were talking about the series the art was being made for, yeah.
A first...
Almost a first entirely.
A first for the ages, yes.
Yeah. Hold on, gotta get these lips on camera there. Look at those lips, chat. The character known for lips. Nah, these all look great. Let me zoom back out. Yeah. Yeah, no, these came out amazing. But yeah, no, like we were saying, what makes a good shonen series is basically how you cover up the fact that it's just another shonen series.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Pretty much, yeah.
They're all going to be generally very similar.
You gotta have fights. You have
to have fights. There's probably a tournament arc now, like almost always.
Always a tournament arc.
Almost always. Demon Slayer doesn't have that, luckily.
Yeah, I feel like Demon Slayer wouldn't do good with a tournament arc.
No, it wouldn't make any sense. Also, Demon Slayer is very different in that, like, it kind of has much more of a, like, fixed structure. I feel like Demon Slayer never, like, really wanders around trying to figure out what it's going to do.
No.
It feels really planned out from the very beginning.
Yeah, it knows what it wants to be.
Yeah, it's very concise.
Yeah.
So, unlike, like when you're just like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Fuck it. Yeah, fuck it,
Fuck it, Quincy's.
Yeah. You heading to bed? Alright, well, have a good night, Ninja.
Yep, that sounds about right. Sounds good to me.
Right. Alright, we're gonna bail. We'll catch y'all later.
Yeah, we'll catch you next time. Next time I... How many do I have? Oh yeah, I could probably finish all these next stream. Maybe. I might do good.
Lust is easy.
Lust is easy. It's the envy because I decided to give it a more complex background.
I don't think you need that. Just keep it simple.
I mean, it's just got the true homunculus form behind it.
Yeah, but I think it's easier if it's just the main character. That's what people like.
Yeah, but it doesn't look good. It's just them by themselves. I'd have to redraw the entirety of the thing because this. Is
I see now. I see now. Yeah, you're right. No, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Oh. But yeah, I could probably finish those next turn. And then we'll be down to the Sailor Moon aspect of everything, because that one won by a fucking landslide.
Yeah, right.
Fuck, no, I actually didn't know what to expect off of that one, because Hunter x Hunter is very popular, but
yeah,
I didn't realize that Sailor Moon was just like...
I think the Sailor Moon characters look cool in your style. I've never seen you draw them, I don't think.
I drew them like... I drew a Sailor Jupiter once and a Sailor Pluto once, and that's
like forever ago. I think I remember those. I mean, that's practically not even.
That's like a lifetime ago. At this point.
That's a lifetime ago at this point.
Yeah, so we'll see how they look. It'll be fun.
Okay.
All right. Well, y'all have a good night. Catch you later. Watch a Funky Space Wizard battle. So, yeah.